Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And of course, as soon as my last video goes public, the trade actually goes through. So, Russell Westbrook has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. The trade consists of this, okay? The Lakers are getting Russell Westbrook, a 2024 and a 2028 second round pick. And the Wizards will be getting the 22nd pick in tonight's draft. Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and Kantavious-Caldwell Pope. Now, this trade is very weird to me and says a lot about the league. I'm just going to cover these things first. The first thing I think this says about the league in general is Bradley Beal's tired of being in Washington or has become fed up with Washington. And rightfully so. I think basketball fans all want to see Bradley Beal actually go someplace where he has a shot at winning or is going to be on a team that's actually going to try to fucking win. And the reason I say that is because Bradley Beal is in the last year of his contract. He has a 1-year player exception left after this year. And usually around this time is where players start saying like, hey, I want to go someplace else. And I think that Bradley Beal is like, listen, at this point, I think Bradley Beal is just saying, if you can't find me any help, I'm going someplace else. And so now the Wizards are like scrambling to find him help, and I don't think it's going to be enough. No matter what help they get, it's not going to be enough. Even this, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, KCP, the 22nd pick, it's not going to be enough for the Wizards to win anything. So they're trying, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Unless they somehow find some way to land Chris Paul in free agency and, I don't know, get a center or something. I don't know. The Wizards have a lot of work to do, and I don't think any of this is going to be enough to keep Bradley Beal. So, that's the first thing I think this trade says about at least the Wizards, okay, is that Bradley Beal is on his way out. The next thing I think this says is that Chris Paul is staying with the Phoenix Suns. And the reason I say that is because the Lakers, if you guys remember correctly, the Lakers were trying to get Chris Paul. And not for nothing, man, but after Chris Paul just had a finals run with the Phoenix Suns and the idea that, DeAndre Ayton's become very good with Chris Paul as a teammate. Devin Booker has been playing amazing throughout the playoffs. I find it hard to believe Chris Paul is going to just walk away from that because the only other place for Chris Paul to go and actually win is, Boston or the Lakers. And I somehow don't think either of that is happening. So, especially now that the Lakers just got Russell Westbrook. So, it's just the idea at this point. I think Chris Paul staying with the Suns makes a lot of sense. And I think that's why the Lakers did this. Because they need somebody other than LeBron James to run the point. They need somebody to run the offense. And Russell Westbrook is capable of doing that. Russell Westbrook is an exciting player. Do I think he's still top 10 in the league? He's top 15, I'd say. I don't know if he's still in the top 10. I mean, that's a discussion for another day. But the Lakers have $130 million in cap space. They have the ability to re-sign Alex Caruso. They have the ability to re-sign THT. It's just the idea. What other moves are they going to make? Because they need to do something about Marc Gasol. Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Marc Gasol is not Dwight Howard. And they don't have JaVale McGee anymore. So, who's grabbing rebounds? Who's playing defense? I understand they're going to let Russell Westbrook get his triple-doubles by just giving him the fucking rebound all the time. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, was it worth giving up all this depth to get a guy who is horrendous when it comes to efficiency? Okay? Don't get me wrong. I love Russell Westbrook. I love his heart. I love his will to win. I love watching him play. But holy shit, when you get a guy that needs to score 30 shots in order to make his numbers look good, okay, or needs 30 shots to make his numbers look good, not score 30 shots, but you get what I mean. When you get a guy like that who needs volume to make up for his efficiency, I don't know, man. Russell Westbrook hasn't really been like a sharpshooter from three either. He's not like, Steph Curry. He's not Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? He's just Russell Westbrook. And who knows? Maybe that's enough to put the Lakers over the top. I really don't know. But I do understand the Lakers still have to go through the Nets. And I think they needed another guy. They needed a guy to guard Kyrie. And I understand Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's good enough to do that. The question is, though, is Russell Westbrook going to become a pass-first guy? Yes, Russell Westbrook can take over a game. He's a guy that can get to the basket at will. But it's just the idea, is Russell Westbrook going to be able to deal with taking a lower role on basically being a third option on the Lakers, because that's what it's going to be, okay? Is he going to be able to be a pass-first guy? Is he going to be able to facilitate an offense, without trying to, dunk on somebody every time down the floor, These are things that come to my mind immediately. The depth, the Lakers' depth, how is this going to affect their depth on their roster? Because their depth has actually gotten worse, I would say, since getting rid of JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, not bringing Dwight back. I mean, I understand the Dwight Howard situation was kind of special, but they really had almost no control over that. But it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what they plan to do. Are they bringing back Drummond? That's another question. Are they going to bring back Andre Drummond? Because they didn't even play Andre Drummond in the playoffs. I don't know what the hell was up with that, but they didn't even play Andre Drummond in the playoffs. So there's a lot of questions here. Where's the depth going to come from? Who's playing defense? Who's grabbing rebounds? And I would argue on the opposite side of things here, was it really worth grabbing Russell Westbrook if you could have went out and got a guy like, I don't know, TJ McConnell, for example? I'm a Pacers fan, and I happen to know TJ McConnell is actually a pretty good point guard when it comes to facilitating and playing defense. He doesn't have a jump shot, and I understand he's not Russell Westbrook, but at the same time, it's kind of in that situation, you almost would rather have TJ McConnell rather than Russell Westbrook, because at least TJ McConnell is going to pass the ball first. He's going to look for somebody to get open. He's not a killer, okay? But that also depends on if the Lakers could even get TJ McConnell. But I think you understand what I'm saying. Was it really worth chewing up all your cap space to get Russell Westbrook when you could have gotten, some point guard in free agency that would have facilitated your offense as a starter? You know what I'm saying? I'm in no way, shape, or form saying TJ McConnell is better than Russell Westbrook, because he's not. I'm simply saying, you have to weigh both things here, cap space and star potential. And at the same time, it's kind of the Lakers were really lacking, I think, in bench depth, so to say, after getting rid of Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee. But who knows? You know what I'm saying? They got Andre Drummond. They could get somebody else. They could bring back Drummond, maybe give Drummond a chance this year to play some more minutes. I don't know. I don't know what the thing is, but the Russell Westbrook trade, I think, in the long term is going to be good for the Lakers. The reason I say that is because you give LeBron a chance to rest. Russell Westbrook can deal with running the offense. And on top of that, I just think that there's a lot of pros and cons to this trade. The biggest con out of this whole thing is Russell Westbrook going to continue to be Russell Westbrook? That's the only question I have, because Russell Westbrook is now a third option on a really good team. And they're obviously, at this point, I think it's obvious, too, that the Lakers are not re-signing Dennis Schroeder. So Dennis Schroeder is going to go someplace else, I think, at this point, now that they got Russell Westbrook. But like I said, what are they doing with the cap space? If they bring back Caruso, great. If they bring back THT, great. But you just got rid of Kuzma, who was on your bench, Montrezl Harrell, who was on your bench, KCP, who was on your bench. There was rumors they were going after Buddy Hield. Are they still going to go after Buddy Hield? Can they still go after Buddy Hield? There's just a lot of questions to this trade. But I understand why the Lakers did it. Yes, they have a third scoring option now, but this trade, in the end, I think will work out, but I just don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing at this point, because if Chris Paul were available or going to be able to be signed, I don't think the Lakers would have done this trade. So, I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I'm excited for the Lakers, excited for Lakers fans, because the Lakers are going to be fun as shit to watch, all right? That's one thing I can say about this. I am waiting to see LeBron throw a lob to Russell Westbrook and vice versa, okay? I'm waiting for it. It's going to be a sight to see, okay? So that's all I'm saying. I'm excited for that. That much I'm excited for. So, I don't know. I'm iffy on this trade, but you know, we still have the entire offseason left to go, but I don't know. This definitely feels like one of those NBA 2K my league trades. Okay, like this feels like a trade that you would pull off in like NBA 2K. Okay, the 22nd pick, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and KCP for Russell Westbrook. Like, this was some Twitter shit. This was some Facebook fanboy group shit that I did not expect to happen. So I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens, but tell me what you guys think down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. This has been the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.